Hello, it's Gene again. I wasn't going to do another video today, but I saw something in my news feed, and I'm a little bit heated about it. There was an airman, he's a master sergeant at Shiver Air Force Base in Colorado, which I'm familiar with. I went there to train. Was reduced in rank because he had ties to Identity Evropa, which is a website that I've seen. I've seen some of their videos. I don't support them financially. I support them ideologically. I think that what they're doing is fine. Apparently, he was identified. Now, this is on Fox News, and I'll link the report below. He was identified by anti-fascist people, so obviously Antifa, saw him at a protest and I guess complained, and then this guy was proed up on charges. Now, I'm a military retired person, and I was in the Air Force, and I understand what they're doing here. When I was in the Air Force, you couldn't march in your uniform if you were at a rally or a political event, which I never did. But I was also part of the group NAA. I can't say the word anymore, but it was the one for African Americans, which back then it still says colored in it, and they haven't changed it. But nothing would have happened to me, and it was actually in my performance reports that I was a member of this. So, but he apparently was seen with these guys. He protested with them, and he gave them money. And on YouTube, you understand this. You have Patreon, so he was a Patreon person for that, and he pays more than was normal. Instead of the $1 a month, he was paying $5 or $20 or whatever. And apparently, according to the article, he might have started up his own chapter in Colorado Springs. Now, the issue thing is, they're claiming that he is a white nationalist because he supports the idea of what Identity Evropa talks about, who basically says that they advocate for people of European descent, whether here in the United States or here in over in Europe. So basically, he's losing his rank because he is advocating for people like himself. Now, I'm out of the military, and I can say what I want to say. But then I wonder at this point, if you're going to reduce this guy, at some point you're going to get people out of the military because they have a different opinion by the mainstream when it comes to advocating for their own people. Or are you going to go back and say, no, I don't have to get my retirement anymore because I espoused a ideology that is not mainstream? That every other place in the world, you advocate for the people that are from that place. But apparently you can't do it because of the color of our skin. And they make it sound like in the AFI is that you can't protest or march for these people because these people have ideologies that are white supremacists or extremists, or they might have violence. I have not seen any report of Identity Evropa having anything like that. They put banners up, they march, they basically just want to be out there. I have not seen anything where they did anything like this. But the reason why it's this way, that we have these terms, is because of the ADL. And I talked about this many, many times in this channel. When you say it now, that people that are Jewish have too much influence in this country, you'll be called a bigot or anti-Semitic. And now we have people in government that basically says the same damn thing. The Congress said something not that long ago. The governor of the state of Florida signed something to build. You can't say things against Israel. You can't talk about BDS. Michelle Malkin actually had to respond to somebody today on Twitter saying that she somehow supported BDS, which is some of the people believe that it's the radical people that are jihadists that are for Palestine. And she says, I'm against that, of course, but I'm also against the idea that you can't talk about it. That all of a sudden now we can't talk about Israel in any bad note that's against the First Amendment. So this guy, Master Sergeant Stevens, I think his name is, I'm not going to reduce his rank. For what I see from this report, I don't know anything about him. I don't know anything he did that was wrong. His name is Master Sergeant Cory Reeves, and the ADL has got their fucking imprint over all of this, and Antifa. So apparently somebody saw him and they reported to him, And instead of him going to trial, because apparently he could have went to a course martial. He could have said, no, I don't want it. What he got probably was an Article 15 for violating that Air Force instruction. And he probably, he did that and lost that. He probably lost some money, probably for 3 or 4 months. He probably lost half his pay. But allows him probably to be able to retire and have his benefits at the end of the day. I don't know how he what he believes in the movement. Is he going to be a martyr for the movement? Is he going to just get out and not retire? Or is he going to become a leader in the movement? I mean, all this guy really did was identify the ideology that said that white people should be advocated for, like every other person on this planet is. And now he's losing his rank because he gave them some money and was in some of the demonstration. And we're using a tainted group like the ADL or SPLC that have ties to Soros and all the bad people in the world to define which is actually white supremacy or white nationalism. Just because he was advocating for people like him doesn't make him a bigot. Why can't he do that? Now, I don't know the man. I don't know enough about the story. But if it was really that bad, I mean, they found out he was accused. They showed him on video that he was marching with these guys. Probably wasn't in uniform. All they did was reduce him 1 rank. Now, that's still bad. They should never have done this. But the Air Force has become so woke in the last 5-10 years. The whole thing with what happened in the military academy out there in Colorado Springs, so they found out all these women said they're being raped, and they all found out that it was all bullshit, but it still did the same bullshit. Now, if you're a man, a white man in the Air Force, good Lord, to say anything about this. Don't say anything about Israel. Don't say anything about how white men are looked at bad, that we're the repressors. You're going to be charged by somebody that might look at you, and if you're on YouTube and you're looking at one of their videos and you just say, I'm going to give them some money because I like what they're saying. It's just, I get it. You're in the military. You don't really have the First Amendment per se. And you're supposed to be smart about it. And I don't know enough about what he did. But good Lord, this is where we're at. I said that in my video I already did today, that the authoritarian left is going to say you can't say anything, especially if you look like me. Now, again, if this goes out and my shit will not get viral. But can you imagine that? I served for 24 years. I wasn't believe any of this stuff. I mean, I didn't get involved in this movement well after I got retired out of the military. But the idea that they're going to do this to this guy who's a senior NCO, which is the top 20% of all NCOs, that clearly was on his way probably to chief. I mean, he looked like a young guy in there. He's probably going to be a chief at some point. He won't know. He won't be now. He might get back to master sergeant, but he'll never be a senior master, and he'll never be a chief master sergeant. And that, I would love to see what this guy had to say. I would love it if Nick Fuentes would talk to this guy. Now, again, he can't probably do anything right now, and maybe he's going to go on Fox News at some point and have this thing happen. The president has pardoned so many people that are in the military for stuff. This is something that I think that he needs to look at as well. Again, he probably won't, because somehow he believes, based on the ADL, the SPSLC, that just because you somewhat support the idea of a white advocacy group, that you're somehow a bigot to everybody else, that you are promoting violence. Again, if they found that anywhere in his history that he was promoting this, he would have been in jail. He would be out of the military right now. So he signed this. You don't really have to admit guilt when you do an Article 15. It's just you sign it, and then it's like the commander gives you what you can get. But this is really, really upsetting to me. And this is a war that's going to happen. Now, I don't know what it's going to be, but this is the beginning of all of it. What will this guy actually stand up? Will he go on media? And obviously, there's not going to be no mainstream that's going to actually see him, but anybody's going to actually have a chance to talk to this guy. I wish he would. So I'm going to put it out there. I'm going to try to send this stuff to Nick and some of the other people. Maybe if this guy has a chance, he'll go on there and state his case. Maybe Patrick Casey from AIM can talk to him. This is an outrage. It really is. I mean, he's not in the KKK. He's not in he's a neo-Nazi thing. And clearly the ADL and how the Air Force looks at it is they think it's the same fucking thing. And it's not. It's like America First, Identity Evropa, AIM. All these guys are now neo-Nazis. And we've got to stop and stand up for guys like this. Again, I don't know everything, but I'm going to defend him, his ability to say what he wants to say and support the people he wants to say. It's disgusting to me. Okay, let me know what you think below, and maybe we can do something about this, and I'm going to try to send it to Nick and some of the other guys, even though they don't know me. Maybe it'll get to them through Twitter, and just see what they can do about this guy. You guys have a good day. I'll talk to you later. Bye.